a.m. in the morning. And of course, I am reaching out to you at this early time on a Wednesday morning to share an experience with you. One that was brief, but quite interesting. Let me get right into it. I actually got up about 3:30 or so in the morning, went to the restroom, and as I came back, I noticed there weren't any sounds on. There was really nothing on. It was silence in my apartment. So I went ahead and put on storm sounds quietly in the background, and then I laid back down again and shut my eyes. Now, it wasn't long before that feeling came over me between being asleep and awake. But what was so interesting, and what's been very interesting lately, is that at least in my past few experiences, I've felt this sense of being more awake than usual, more conscious than usual. Normally, my conscious is kind of more in the background, but these last few times, I've been almost startled at how conscious I've been, to the point where I'm thinking, wow, I do feel quite wide awake, and yet I am still having this feeling, this experience of being in this place. So that has been an interesting difference lately, and I guess we'll see. I'll continue to report my observations to you with this, but this has been an interesting development to me, and I'm not sure if this is part of my evolution. I believe it could be that I'm much more awake than usual, but I've totally felt that. I've really, really felt that lately. Within moments, I felt myself beginning to move forward. Now, for those of you who have been listening to my Beyond Body experiences, you know normally I either go to the left, I have gone to the right before, but normally it's to the left. This time there was a forward motion. And as I've said before, my theory on all this is that this is some sort of navigational system. So moving in different directions takes me to different places, different worlds, different realities, that kind of thing. So I felt myself move forward, and I went right off the edge of the bed. Also, I always tell you guys that when I feel myself going off the edge of the bed, I always feel as if I'm going to hit the ground. This time, I did not get that sense. I didn't get the sense I was going to hit the ground this time, which was kind of cool. I was very calm about it. And then I started moving, gliding through the darkness. And eventually, I started slowing down. And as I slowed down, the darkness slowly began to lift. But as this was happening, I stood up on my own power. And again, if you will recall, I have had times when I've felt a presence lift me up and put me onto my feet. But the past few times, I have been coming onto my feet on my own and just getting up. Perhaps it is similar to a child when they're learning to walk, a toddler getting up on their own and beginning to walk. I'm not sure. In a sense, I do certainly feel as if I am beginning to evolve in a way, in this way. As I stood up, I looked around. I was in, as the darkness lifted and the scene revealed itself, I was in my first thought. The first thought that I had when I was looking around at this place was that this was an office. So I work in an office on a daily basis. In fact, I'll be working in an office after I finish this in the morning. I'll be going to work. And this felt like an office setting to me. I saw cubicles, I guess. No, they weren't cubicles. They were different offices that were set off, and I I could see white blinds, and then I could see furnishing that looked sort of burgundy to me. There were different colors, and this space seemed very wide, very extremely wide to me. Of course, when I go on these journeys, the spaces seem to be wider than usual. It's very, very interesting. And the other thought that I had, the second thought that I had as I was looking around, I had this thought that it was also someone's home. I don't know why this thought came to me because, well, I would have to say this, guys. It seemed like a combination between an office and someone's house, as if perhaps there might have been beds and other types of things in this office. It seemed like a combination of things, and perhaps it was my mind interpreting this, because as I've said before, another one of my theories is that the mind is seeing this stuff and creating something that is understandable for us, which is what it does. It interprets things all day long, and it's interpreting what I'm seeing, and perhaps where I was maybe a bit beyond my understanding. So the mind came up with, hey, this looks like an office and a bed, so that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with an office and I'm sorry, not a bed, but a house. I'm going to go with this combination. So that's what it felt like to me. There were people moving around this place, this office, maybe slash home. They were moving around, and they looked professional. They were dressed professionally enough. They looked younger to me. And I remember there was one man, he caught my attention, and he was kind of walking away from me, and I remember my exact words to him. My exact words to him were, "Excuse me, sir, what is your name?" And he stopped, turned very politely, and he said, "Oh, my name is Don Huel." He looked Hispanic to me. It's the first thought that came into my mind. Uncertain of where in Latin America he may have come from, the first thought I had was perhaps Mexico, but that's because I live very close. Los Angeles borders Mexico, so that was one of the first thoughts I had, but he could have been from anywhere in Latin America. He looked young, roughly in his 20s, as I say, dark hair, nicely dressed. Again, he looked like he was dressed to work, like he was in the office and he was working. And I thought, oh, Donwell, well, okay, cool name. And moments later, and I'm talking, guys, moments later, this was a very interesting, very strange thing that happened. It seemed that everyone in the office, and there were quite a few people that were walking around, everyone in the office had suddenly gathered around me. It seemed so quick to me, almost, it didn't seem like that much time came in, as if suddenly they were just gathered around me, sitting on furniture all around me, just kind of looking up at me, including Don Juan. And while I don't remember the exact words that were spoken to me with this conversation, what I do remember is that everybody that was surrounding me, every single person, though they were separate, they spoke as one, as one being. When they spoke as one. And I mean, it was as if they were, oh my God, it was so strange to see this. It was so strange to see all these individuals speaking as one person, but that is definitely how they spoke. And I remember telling them, I guess simultaneously, I said, well, where I come from, we all speak independently. We all speak separately. And I thought, my observation was, wow, this was kind of strange that you all speak at the same time simultaneously. It was very, very interesting. Now, within moments, within moments, I lost my grip on this reality and I was back. But I do believe that there was more conversation. I'm just not recalling everything. And there was a certain depth to this conversation. I think my biggest observation here was them talking all at the same time. And was this a parallel universe? Or was it perhaps some sort of alien society? I'm not sure. I can't be sure. But as always, these experiences are quite fascinating. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on another journey with me. And until next time, take care.